dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew? It's your boy DJ Nuki, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
Back on the channel with more Wise Mojo. Hopefully, Wise Mojo carry us through with another one. But if she don't, it's all good. Her name Rebecca? I don't think so. I'm talking about the woman be talking.
I know. Don't ask me. My memory is shot, Tony.
But today, man, we got 10 creepy deathbed confessions. You remember that deathbed confession joint we did? But it was a TikTok joint.
I do remember that.
And
that
like,
was, yeah.
That joint was creepy.
That was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so with that being said, man, we ain't gonna hold y'all, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want to first support, all you gotta do is check out down below. You ain't ready? Also, if you enjoyed today's video, man, make sure you like it in with a thumbs up.
Please do that.
Y'all see how she is, bro.
Also, my ears cold.
She ain't even came to the... She don't come to work prepared, bro. You working, baby. All right, but let's... In all seriousness, note, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about.
Well, are you prepared to tell the truth today?
Yeah, of course I am.
Why is that?
Because that's what it's all about. This is the last interview. The last picture show.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 10 creepy deathbed confessions.
I'll tell you something after all these years, but you must promise me not to say anything until I die. So what's that? So he turned around and says, it was me that done Brian.
For this list, we'll be looking at haunting revelations people made in the moments just before they died. We'll be considering confessions reported directly from the deceased individuals or those recounted by their loved ones. Which of these gave you the chills? Confess in the comments. Margaret Gibson. The 1922 murder of prolific silent film actor and director William Desmond Taylor remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in Hollywood history. Even with multiple suspects being considered, the investigation was botched, leaving the case officially unsolved to this day.
When the police arrived on the scene, there were various people all over the house.
The studio personnel were running around, making off with all-important letters, documents, possible evidence.
More than 4 decades after the crime, however, Margaret Gibson, a Hollywood actor who had worked with Taylor early in his career, made a shocking confession. As Gibson slowly passed away on her kitchen floor after a heart attack, the then 70-year-old owned up to shooting and killing Taylor.
And she went on to say that she had shot and killed a William Desmond Taylor.
With zero physical evidence left from the case and a lack of apparent motive, there was no way to verify Gibson's sensational claim. Mark Chopper Reed.
But my thing is, she confessed to it because she knew she was dying, and she was like, I have to get this off my conscience, so I have to let somebody know.
I mean, yeah, but still, it's like, they still have nothing but that.
Yeah, I'm saying on her end.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason why
yeah, on her, like, hey,
she
do what you please with it, but I got to get this off before, you know.
Before I crack over to the other side, because I don't even know what's there waiting for me, but I'm going to go ahead and let it off my conscience. That is crazy, though. And you want me to tell you what's going to be so crazy?
What?
People still carrying around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a lot of unsolved murders, 9 times out of 10, could be solved.
But people just holding...
Or some people die before they can even really tell. Because some people, you know what I'm saying, you play that game, you get that game sometimes too. Hey, killers die too.
Yeah.
So some of us, you can't, but I'm just saying, the ones who can...
Yeah.
I feel like he gonna... I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You never know.
One of the most notorious criminals to ever come out of Australia, Mark Chopper Reed lived a large chunk of his adult life in prison.
Through his stage shows, his books and a very successful feature film, he became Australia's favourite crook. But for all the mythology around Chopper, the truth is what he did in his lifetime was monstrous.
The infamous gang member spent time behind bars for crimes such as armed robbery, kidnapping, and arson, but always somehow evaded a murder conviction. While serving his time, Reed contracted hepatitis C, and years later he was diagnosed with liver cancer.
You see that in the camera? That's the tumour. Look at that. That's a pretty big tumour, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big tumour.
Look at the size of the bastard.
Perhaps realizing that his time on Earth was slowly coming to an end, he sat for an interview with 60 Minutes Australia just 16 days before he died. During the interview, Reed casually admitted his involvement in the deaths of 19 people, describing the details with an astounding lack of remorse.
I don't know why, and as I sit here now, I couldn't care less. I mean, why?
Did why ever matter to you?
Why? It had nothing to do with it.
Naaman Diller. The most expensive heist in Israeli history occurred in 1983, when the Museum for Islamic Art was robbed clean of items worth tens of millions of dollars. One of these was a custom-made pocket watch for Marie Antoinette, estimated at about $30 million.
Probably the collection's most famous watch is Berger's Marie Antoinette, made for the French queen.
Was prepared to her. She was, executed before she could enjoy it.
The dastardly heist was carried out by Israeli criminal Naaman Diller. Diller had fled Israel after the crime and settled in the U.S., where he died in 2004. Just before his death, he confided in his wife about everything and left the rest of the stolen collection in her possession.
Diller, on his deathbed 4 years earlier, had confessed to her that the priceless antique watches scattered around their Los Angeles home, including the Marie Antoinette, were his catch from raiding the museum that night.
The 25-year-old case was finally solved after Diller's widow tried selling some of the items back to the museum, and the authorities were tipped off.
All this happened and the watches were stolen. Now they came back. The first part by chance, the second part by very hard and professional work of the police.
Christopher Smith.
That was
not no professional work of no police.
Really dumb. Why?
She's just stupid.
Why you point this way?
No, I wasn't. I'm just saying that, and I hate that y'all be giving police credit when they ain't deserve not now.
No, that was just so stupidity. Like, why would you
She walked into that mug talking about some.
Hey, almost.
I got some y'all won't.
Y'all been looking for 25.
You want it? You gonna have to. Man, that ain't how you do with it, bro.
Ain't that crazy?
To be honest, you probably could never make because it's priceless.
Yeah.
That's something you just pass down from generation to generation. That's what they've been doing with stolen goods themselves.
That's crazy, though.
If you get what I'm saying. They stole some stuff too, but we ain't gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
that's some stolen jewels.
I don't know what her head made her be like.
I swear,
I'm just gonna go,
bro.
Take it back and sell it back, and hopefully
to be real,
don't notice. What?
If I was in her shoes, I would have just especially if we had kids, family, I would have kept it and just passed it down to my kids. They ain't gonna get arrested for it because they ain't the one that stole it.
I don't know.
You gonna arrest me for having it was a family heirloom.
I ain't know nothing about it.
I ain't know he had stole it. What you gonna do to me?
Between 1975 and 1980, the Yorkshire Ripper claimed the lives of 13 women in the English areas of Manchester and West Yorkshire.
Over a period of 6 years, all of these women were murdered by the same man. 13 families' lives torn apart by Peter Sutcliffe.
When 26-year-old Joan Harrison was killed in 1975, her murder was initially attributed to the notorious killer. But after his arrest in 1981, he was eliminated as a suspect.
Sutcliffe had been ruled out of the Joan Harrison investigation, and detectives were back to square one.
From there, it would take 30 years for the case to come to resolution. In 2008, Harrison's death was linked to 60-year-old Christopher Smith. Smith had terminal lung cancer and recently had his DNA sample taken after he was arrested for drunk driving. With his impending death looming, Smith penned a rambling letter in which he confessed to Harrison's murder and pleaded for forgiveness.
We found a note, which to my mind is clearly a confession note. And it's significant to me that he wrote that letter the day before he died. He talks about being remorseful for things that he's done.
He passed on a few days later. Hannah Quick. In 1980, Hannah Quick was the landlord of a townhouse in Brooklyn, New York, that got burned to the ground in February of that year. The fire led to the unfortunate deaths of some of the tenants.
3 men, Raymond Mora, William Vasquez, and Amari Villalobos, were arrested and later convicted of setting a fire that killed a mother and her 5 young children in a Park Slope apartment at 695 Sackett Street.
When she was interviewed by police, Quick claimed to have seen 3 men walk out of the house around the time of the fire. The 3 men, Raymond Mora, Amare Villalobos, and William Vasquez, were convicted. Mora died in prison, whereas the other 2 spent over 30 years incarcerated for the incident.
They also found the building owner, Hannah Quick, who accused the men, was a known substance abuser and habitual liar who admitted to family members she sent 3 innocent men to prison.
Years later, on her deathbed, Quick confessed to her daughter that she lied about seeing the men. The case was overturned and the men were exonerated of the crime.
Today, I feel that if I die this afternoon, I'll be able to go to my tomb and rest in peace because my name has finally been cleared. After all these years in prison, yeah, I feel great.
Christine Kett.
That's so messed
very
up.
messed.
I
And
hate when stuff like this.
and I'll say this: is it possible she the one that started the fire?
Possibly.
But she ain't gonna admit to that. She just gonna admit to the fact that I sent 3. You know what I'm saying? 3 innocent men. But go ahead, also admit the fact
Did
that
she do it for like insurance or something like that?
possibility
You know
because
what I'm
she
saying?
was low on money and she was like, hey, it's just casualty.
Like an insurance. That's messed up on so many levels.
Of 18-year-old Christine Kett in her Dayton, Ohio home was a mystery that lingered for years. In January 1867, Kett's body was found by her brother, who immediately alerted their neighbors and the authorities. While police sorted through the crime scene, Kett's mother, whose name was also Christine, arrived at the house and was inconsolable.
What is it?
Too inconsolable, as many onlookers noted. The case remained unsolved until years later when Mrs. Kett became sick and was at the point of death. On her deathbed, she admitted to killing Christine in a fit of rage.
Wow, you killed your own daughter.
Don't try to be brave, Melly. Yell all you want. There's nobody to hear.
Mrs. Kett swore her son to secrecy until his own time came, but after her death, he notified the police. Frank Thorogood. On July 3rd, 1969, Rolling Stones co-founder Brian Jones was found dead in the swimming pool of his Sussex home.
Brian Jones is found dead in his swimming pool at around midnight on the night of the 2nd of July, 1969, at his country mansion, Cotchard Farm.
His death was ruled by authorities as an accidental drowning, but that didn't stop multiple theories from popping up in the following days. One of the more credible ones involved construction worker Frank Thorogood, who was recommended to work in Jones's house by the Stones' chauffeur, Tom Keelock.
Brian was having a lot of refurbishment done on the house, and Frank was doing that refurbishment, but he was actually living in an apartment above the garage attached to Brian's house.
Thorogood, who last saw Jones alive, allegedly told Keelock on his deathbed that, quote, "It was me that did Brian. I just finally snapped," end quote. With both men now dead, and Keelock later denying the confession, there's likely no way of knowing if Jones's death was really an accident. Alice Mock.
That is so messed up, bro.
I remember this one.
That is so messed up, bro.
That's
Like,
on so many levels.
like you really, and then you made it look like a suicide.
Right?
That's
This
crazy,
was like,
bro. You talking about I just finally snapped? Nah, that was plotted. You don't make it look like you kill somebody and you make it look like a suicide without pre-planning.
Yeah.
Nah, that's all premeditated. You know what I'm saying?
In November 1986, 76-year-old Alice Mock made a confession to her neighbor as she lay on her deathbed. Mock recounted that in 1975, a false allegation she made sentenced a man to jail for 15 years. The man, Wayman Camille Jr., stayed over at Mock's apartment after a drunken night out. Mock robbed Camille when he passed out, but then she cried out for help, alleging that he had robbed and assaulted her. She claims to have been afraid Camille would find out about her theft. Mock's confession exonerated Camille, who was released after spending 12 years of his 15-year sentence. Geraldine Kelly. Geraldine Kelly lived with her husband John in Ventura, California, where they worked as motel managers. In 1992, Kelly told her 2 estranged children that John had been struck and killed in a car accident. With no reason to question her story, they accepted it. It wasn't until Kelly was dying of cancer in 2004 that the truth was revealed. On her deathbed, Kelly confessed that she had killed John, reportedly because he was violent towards her. She kept his body in a storage unit and even shipped it along with her when she moved from California to Massachusetts.
Wow.
An official in the latter state described the entire situation as, quote, very bizarre. And frankly, we couldn't agree more. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get...
These are crazy confessions, bro. But to be honest, they ain't as shocking as I expect them to be because...
That last one, what? Do you remember the year?
Nah.
The one we just...
Nah, I can't remember.
Because I'm like, no one was like... Because if it was a car accident, that type of stuff, like, is reported and stuff like that. Like, that would have been like... So no one was like, wondering where he's been all this time or looking for the body or... we haven't seen, you know.
And then she moved and traveled with this big old...
And shifted with it. Like, that's weird. Like,
yeah, that's beyond weird, bro.
Find about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into settings and switch on your notifications. Christian Bankowski. The Brabant Killers were a notorious gang of armed robbers who terrorized Brabant, a former province of Belgium. Their violent activities resulted in the deaths of 28 people from 1982 to 1985. The group usually comprised of 3 core members: the Giant, who was thought to be their leader, the Killer, and a getaway driver called the Old Man. After the Brabant Killers suddenly vanished in 1985, police were unable to officially charge anyone with the crimes. In 2017, a man came forward claiming that his brother, a retired policeman named Christian Bankowski, had confessed to being the Giant on his deathbed 2 years earlier.
He made this confession on his deathbed 2 years ago, and the man's brother has just revealed the information.
While it initially seemed like a breakthrough in the case, the claim was later disproved through forensic DNA.
Nah.
Maybe there was some contamination along the way or something. Look, because I'm not, as a retired police officer, I'm not about to confess to something that, you know what I'm saying? Why would you? You know what I'm saying? To like take my reputation. I'm not doing that.
Now I know crazy people do confess to things that they never done.
Yeah.
And folks look like, bro, you just crazy. You want to be a part of it.
You know.
But nah, bro, you can't tell me that ain't. Nah, bro.
And was this a sketch that was done?
And I swear that's
that
why.
Look, just tell me. It's like you had him sitting in front of you and you just look. No, child, no.
Bro, ain't no way, bro. Like,
yeah, he did it.
He admitted
he was
to
a boy.
We ain't putting nothing on him. He admitted to it.
Yeah, I'm not about to admit to no crimes. Like taking people,
especially on my deathbed.
No,
like,
I'm not. Why would I take that with? I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
But the thing is, to be real, like, a lot of these people they really just want to let people know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it's like.
Well, let them know to get it out to clear their conscience.
I don't even think it's like even that one guy with all the tattoos and stuff. It wasn't even to clear his conscience.
No, him, but he's a little.
He just wanted to let y'all know. Yeah, that was me behind it.
Was
I'm
like
dying now.
Boastful. It was just like
because he had no remorse.
I don't care. Like I did it.
And to be real, a lot of these people didn't have no remorse because even the one that killed her daughter.
Yeah.
She told her son to swear to me your secrecy that you gonna carry this until you die. Mm-hmm. She didn't have remorse.
I'm like, dang, why you have to tell me? Don't put that on me. I gotta carry this. I'm not doing that.
And he told. He probably was like, hey, I'm gonna honor my mom, so she died, but I'm gonna let it. I'm not carrying that.
That's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Because she wasn't remorseful for it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have told her.
Obviously not. For you to tell your son and be like, don't you tell nobody.
Some of these are crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, man, make sure y'all spam us up. Let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about these in the comment section down below, man. But as always, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the day DJ do get this in. We are. We are.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar.